Assalamu alaikum. I'm going to discuss with you about postpartum hemorrhage. My name is Dr. Shazia Zain. First of all, postpartum hemorrhage is one of the leading causes of maternal mortality worldwide, and it has got a prevalence of 6%. And it is responsible for 30% of maternal death in Africa and Asia. By definition, we divide PPH into two, that is primary and secondary PPH. Primary PPH is blood loss within first 24 hours immediately after delivery. After a normal delivery, if the blood loss is exceeding more than 500 ml or after cesarean section it is more than 1 liter, then it is labeled as having primary postpartum hemorrhage. Secondary postpartum hemorrhage is a blood loss after 24 hours to 6 weeks postpartum, then it is labeled as a secondary postpartum hemorrhage. There is a list of risk factors that can be responsible for the postpartum hemorrhage, which includes suspected or proven placental abruption, known placenta previa, grand multiparity, multiple pregnancy, polyhydramnios, previous postpartum hemorrhage, Asian ethnicity. For the management of PPH, once it is identified, the management includes 4 components. The first component is communication. That may include calling somebody for help, alert the first call obstetric anesthetic staff, alert consultant hematologist and blood transfusion laboratory, scribe to clearly document the timing of the event, people present and the intervention administered. The second important step is the resuscitation. For the resuscitation, circulation, airway and breathing, that is CAB, that needs to be maintained. High flow oxygen at the rate of 10 to 15 liters per minute should be administered to the patient. 2 wide bore 14 gauge IV line should be maintained. Blood should be immediately sent for investigation, and the investigation include complete blood count, coagulation profile and cross match. Transfusion of the blood, either cross matched or the O negative blood, that needs to be done. While waiting for the blood, transfuse rapid warm infusion of a crystalloid and colloid, that needs to be done. Immediately Foley's catheterization should be done to empty the bladder. That will also act as a preventive measure and decreases the amount of blood loss. Keep the patient warm at all time, and recombinant factor 7, that needs to be given to the patient. Arrest of bleeding is very important. That can be done immediately at the table by doing the uterine massage, because as we all know that uterine atony is one of the commonest causes for this problem. The additional causes that needs to be excluded, which can be vaginal cervical laceration, it can be a hematoma, it can be a ruptured uterus, a broad ligament hematoma or uterine inversion. Continue monitoring and assess the investigation. Vital, that needs to be monitored after every 15 minutes, and intake output of the patient, that needs to be recorded. The directed therapy in the form of managing the 4 T's, in which the first addressing the tone by doing the massage, compressing it and by drugs. In the tissue, we can remove the manual removal of the placenta if it is retained, or if the RPOCs are the culprit, that needs to be done by doing the uterine curettage. Trauma needs to be corrected by correcting the inversion if there is any, repairing the laceration and identify the rupture. In the thrombin, reverse anticoagulation and replace the factor whatever is deficient on your investigation and labs. For the uterine atony management, first of all, intravenous oxytocin in the form of 5 to 10 international units needs to be administered. Ergometrine in the dose of 0.25 mg to 0.5 mg intramuscular, that needs to be given. But one caution for the use of ergometrine is it is contraindicated in patients who are hypertensive, asthmatic and cardiac patients. If the uterus is still not contracted by oxytocin and ergometrine, then you can give the IV infusion of syntocinon, that is 40 units in 1000 ml of normal saline over 4 hours. Prostaglandin options include carboprost or 15-methyl prostaglandin F2 alpha in the dose of 0.25 mg intramuscular, and the dose can be repeated after every 15 minutes, but it is contraindicated in patients who are asthmatic. Misoprostol in a dose of 800 to 1000 microgram per rectal for the treatment of the uterine atony, that can be given to the patient. Symptometrin which is a combination of ergometrine 5000 microgram and syntocinon 5 unit that can also be given to the patient to manage this emergency. This is also the chart which is depicting the dosage, side effect, contraindication of the different uterotonics. If the tone is still not manageable and the bleeding still continue, the next options can be you can perform the bimanual compression, uterine tamponade can be done, aortic compression can be done, shift the patient to the operation theatre and perform the laparotomy that may be needed. At this time, senior help as soon as it is available that needs to be also acknowledged. Replacement of the blood and the clotting factor at the same time should be done. Beeling suture basically is a compression suture that needs to be done in a cases of atonic uterus if the bleeding is not continued by the conventional uterotonic therapy. Uterine artery ligation, internal iliac artery ligation and hysterectomy are the steps which may further be needed if the bleeding is yet not controlled by these measures. In this picture you can see how the bimanual compression of the uterus is being done, in which one hand is placed just on the posterior surface of the uterus abdominally and the second hand in the form of a fist is placed in the anterior fornix of the vagina, which is causing the compression of the uterus between the two hands. That will decrease the amount of blood loss. Conservative surgical procedures in the form of uterine tamponade can be done, which can be done by sterile gauze or by means of the Foley's condom catheter. It can be done with the help of a Buckley balloon, Sengstaken Blackmore gastric tube, or by means of urologic Rush balloon catheter, and the success rate by performing a tamponade is about 6 to 7%. So it is a quite effective method which can be done in the labor room even without giving anesthesia to the patient. Here you can see the uterine packing which is done layer by layer to prevent or to decrease the amount of blood loss because of the uterine atony. In this picture you can see balloon tamponade which is being done with the help of a condom, and here you can see catheter is being inserted and the catheter is being covered with the help of a condom, and you are going to inflate it by 500 ml of the normal saline, and after the inflation you will increase the amount of fluid within the uterine cavity and the tamponade till you get the tamponade effect. And after 24 hours of the observation, if the bleeding remain fine, you can slowly remove the balloon catheter. In this picture you can see a vertical compression B-link suture which is applied if the uterine bleeding is not controlled by means of the other conservative measures. Then you have to shift the patient to the operation theatre, and under anesthesia you're going to open and do the laparotomy, or if you are doing the cesarean section and the PPH happen, then it can be done at the same time. This is a compression suture which is being done in which you take a long suture of about 100 centimeter. It is an absorbable suture, either catgut or vicryl, and then what you are going to do, you take a bite from the lower segment, 3 centimeter just below the uterine incision, and take it on the posterior aspect of the uterus and tie it like this. And during the whole procedure, one of your assistant is going to give the compression to the uterus so that one can be aware of about the success of this procedure. The success rate which is being claimed by applying the vertical compression suture is about 80 to 90%. In this picture you can see the anterior and the posterior aspect of the uterus while applying the B-link suture and applying the compression as well. The next step, or the step which can be done along with it, is a stepwise devascularization of the vessels. Initially uterine artery, then followed by tube, uterine and ovarian vessel anastomosis. That can be. After that we can do the internal iliac uterine artery ligation as a last resort, and that is a conservative surgery basically. If the internal iliac facilities and the expertise for the internal iliac ligation should be available in the centers, then arterial embolization can be done, and in which the interventional radiologist will insert the embolizing factors into the uterine vessels, and that can be done in the cases where you are suspecting placenta accreta, increta, percreta, and in that case what you are going to do, you can perform this embolization of the vessels beforehand as well. Hysterectomy is a last resort if all the conservative management options fail and the patient is still having bleeding. Then we are going to remove the uterus to save the life of the patient. The most important factor after any emergency, obstetrical emergency, that is the debriefing meeting. In that debriefing, what you are going to do, there should be a clear documentation of the sequence of the event and the cause of bleeding, why it was there and what are the things that was done and managed. The documentation of the time and the event is very important. Then you are going to do the debriefing of the staff, of the family member of the patient and also the patient as well, for the event and the unpredictability of the situation and whatever is happening there. Risk report that also need to be submitted at the end to prevent any future treatments. In conclusion, if I say the PPH is a serious medical condition and it is still one of the leading cause of maternal morbidity and mortality worldwide and in our country as well, and all the measures should be taken to avoid this. Be proactive. Ongoing bleeding should be acted upon without any delay, and conservative measures should not be delayed for the definitive treatment, that you cannot replace the amount of blood loss and patient goes into the irreversible shock. Minimal signs of hemorrhage exist up to 1000 ml of the blood loss. Hypotension is a very late sign in the blood loss if it is occurring after more than 2 liters of the loss. So one must be very vigilant while you are managing the postpartum hemorrhage.